Hello, my students. I hope you all are fine and safe at home. So, here is my ninth lecture of Commercial Studies class ninth. Students, I have covered total 8 lectures covering chapter 1, 2, and 3. Those who haven't seen that videos, kindly first see that. And I hope you must be getting whatever I am teaching to you. And if you have any doubt in any topic, you can comment in the comment section. So in this video I am going to start chapter number 4, that is classification of commercial organization. Now let's first understand the meaning of the chapter name. Now, that is first that comes our first topic, that is definition of commercial organization. So I am going to read out the definition for you, that is organizations which undertake commercial activities are known as commercial organizations. So obviously those organizations which undertake, which perform commercial activities are known as commercial organization. And the meaning of commercial is to earn profits, doing any kind of activity which yields you, which provide you profit, earn profits. So any activity which you are performing for earning the profit or earning the money, that is known as commercial activities, and those enterprises or the organizations which perform such activity are known as commercial organizations. So any enterprises who is doing any kind of activity to earn the money, to earn the profit on it, that can be called as commercial organizations. Now second part says their main motive is to earn money. So these organizations, the sole and the main purpose of these organizations is to earn the money. They may be owned by one or more individuals. It can happen that sometimes these organizations may be owned by one person also, and it can happen that it is owned by more than one individual also, or a group of individual also. So it is not compulsory that it is owned by only one person. It can be more than one. So it can be more than one. So once again I am going to repeat this definition. Commercial organizations are those organizations which undertake any kind of commercial activity, and I have just already told you what is the meaning of commercial activities. Those activities which are performed for earning the profit, or you can say money, that are known as commercial activities, and their main motive is for earning money, and they may be just owned by one individual also, or more than one individual also. So this is the definition of a commercial organization. So I hope so this definition is clear to you. Let's proceed to our next topic, which is the classification of commercial organization. Commercial organizations are divided into three types: private, public, and joint sector. Make sure students you remember that this classification, this although commercial organization are of various types, they are of various types, but depending on the ownership, it is of three types. Just remember this term, it's very important, that depending on the ownership, it is divided into three types, that is private sector, public sector, and joint sector. So in this chapter we are going to study in some detail about all these three types: private, public sector, and the joint sector. So let's start. So in this video we will be covering only the private sector, and in the very next video I shall be teaching you about the public sector and the joint sector, because this chapter is very short. So hardly it will take 2 lectures to complete this chapter. So let's proceed to our next topic, that is private sector enterprises. Just in the previous slide we have discussed the 3 types. So now first we are going to discuss about the private sector enterprise. So private sector enterprises says that these enterprises are owned, controlled and financed by the private businessman. They are financed by the businessman. Their ownership, their control and all their money comes, their financing condition, their financing power comes from a private businessman. They are wholly owned, controlled, managed and financed by the private businessman. One more statement is there, that there is no government participation in them. Remember, it is the most important thing to remember, students, that in the private sector enterprises there is no role of government do not play any kind of role, or you can say government do not interfere in the functioning of the private sector enterprises. Private businessmen can decide themselves how to run, how to conduct and how to perform the business. Just it depends on the will of the private businessman. Government will not interfere. However, government will provide certain guidelines which every businessman, yeah you can say, which every private sector enterprises needs to follow. But beyond these guidelines, government will not interfere in the functioning of the private sector enterprises. So remember that this own, control and financed by the private businessman, and there is no role of government in the functioning. So I hope so. It must be clear in your minds. It's very easy definition. So let's come to the features. Next topic. What are the features? Question can come about the 5 marks also, that write the characteristics of private sector enterprises, write its features. So you need to learn the points as well as the description also. So let's come to the first point, that is private ownership and control. A private sector enterprises is fully owned and controlled by the private entrepreneurs. Just in the definition I have told you that these are, and this sector is managed by the wholly owned and controlled by the private entrepreneurs or the private businessmen. And it can happen that it may be owned by one individual also, or a group of individual also. So it is very clear to you that this is the one of the most important characteristic of private sector enterprises is private ownership and control. Private ownership and control. Why? Because it is owned and controlled by the private businessman, and it may be owned by one individual also, or more than one individual also. So I hope so it is clear to you. Let's come to the point number 2, that is profit motive. The very important characteristic of private sector enterprises is profit motive, because just if an organization, if an enterprise is managed by private businessmen, so he must earn profits to satisfy his needs, to balance his expenses and to save for the future cost also, because it is very much essential to save just to carry out the next production. Because if he will not be able to save the profits, he will not be able to carry out the next production, next selling. So the main objective of the private sector enterprise is to earn the profits. And why profits? Because profits provide the reward for the risk. Whenever when I started chapter number 2, I have told you that risk are the part and parcel of business. Whenever you are doing the business, Whenever you're doing the business, risk is accompanied to it, because if you're not willing to take the risk, you may or may not earn the profits. So whenever a businessman is assuming a risk, he is more likely to earn profits, and sometimes he suffer loss also. So profits provide the reward, it provides as a gift for assuming the risk and required return on capital and getting the profit on the capital invested by him. So profit is very much essential for the growth, for the success of the private sector enterprises. And if the enterprise is not able to earn the profits, then that enterprise is getting at loss, and it may proven that it may shut down also in the coming future. So for the successful and the long growth of the enterprise, this is very essential. Profit is very essential. So come to the point number third, no state participation. As I have already told you that the government do not play any kind of role in the functioning of the private sector enterprises. So it says that there is no participation by the central or the state government in the ownership and control of private sector enterprises. So it must be well understood by you, because I have already discussed in the definition part. So till now we have discussed three features. Come to the point number 4, that is private finance. So private finance says the capital of the private sector is arranged by its owners. And who are owners? The private businessmen are the owners. The private people are the, the owners of the private sector enterprises. So the capital is not provided by the government, they are arranged by the members, the owners, or the private businessmen. So here it is given the examples of various kinds of business. Sole trader contributes the capital, just in the case of sole proprietorship, because I have already told you what is sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship means where a business is carried by one member. Sole proprietorship means where a business is carried by one person only. So in case of one person, he himself contributes the capital. Now in case of partnership, you can say that there minimum two members, or there can be more than two also. Minimum two, or it can be more than two. So the capital is provided, capital is financed by all the members. Capital is invested by all the partners. And in a joint stock company, it is more than two members. It's a large company which requires many individuals, and while a joint stock company raises the capital through the issue of shares. Now just in a case of company, because sole proprietorship can arrange the capital, partnership can also arrange the capitals among the partners, because it's a small form of company. But a joint stock company is a large form of company, so it is not able to arrange the capital by themselves, so it raises the capital through the public by the issue of shares. By the issue of shares, the total capital of the company. Now first let us know what is shares. What is the shares? You must have heard this name, but you do not know what is the meaning of shares. So total capital of the company is divided into small parts. Just it is looking like a sun, but it is not. It is the small parts of the total company which I am trying to show you. And these small parts are known as shares. These small parts are known as shares. So these small parts are offered to the public. Public purchase them, and in return company gets the capital or the money, you can say. and hence a joint stock company is able to finance through the public by the issue of shares. So you must have got some idea about what is the meaning of shares, how the joint stock company arranges the capital, how the sole proprietorship and partnership arranges the capital. So come to the point number 5, that is independent management. A private sector enterprise is managed by its owners. We have discussed just now that a private sector enterprise is wholly managed by its owners. There is no bureaucracy of management. Yeah, you can say there is no interference of the government or any outsider in the functioning of the private sector. It is managed by only who are the members of that sector, who are the members of the sector, and no outsider can come and just manage its functioning. And in case of sole proprietorship and partnership, this owners directly manage the firm. In case of sole proprietorship and partnership, owners directly manage the firm. And one thing I have forgotten to write, that in case of joint stock company, who manages the company? Board of directors. You must have listened this term, board of directors. Why board of directors? Why not the members of the company? Because in case of sole proprietorship, member is managing the business. In case of partnership, partners are managing the business. So why not in joint stock company? Why board of directors are managing the company? Because in a joint stock company there are large number of people or the members. So so it is not possible, so it is practically not possible for everyone to participate in the functioning or decision making. So all the members contributely appoint some members as a board of directors who will manage the company on their behalf. Just take for an example, like in our country we just elect our prime minister. Why we elect our prime minister? Because it is not possible for the entire country to run their country. So we elect the prime minister just to rule the country on our behalf. Similarly in a joint stock company, all the members cannot participate. Hence they select certain board of directors, certain members who will take the position as board of directors, and these board of directors will run the company on the behalf of other members. So I hope so it must be clear in your mind that a private sector enterprise is wholly managed by its owners, and in case of sole proprietorship just and partnership, owners directly manage the firm, while in a joint stock company they are managed by the board of directors. So I hope you have got all the topics which I have covered in this video, and the next two parts are your public sector and the joint sector, which I will be covering in my next video. So that's all for today, and just I hope you have got all the topics, and the remaining topics would be covered in the next video. Till then, thanks for watching, and do like and subscribe my channel. Have a nice day.